Everybody, now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, Russian-born actress, comedian, model, and super gorgeous lady, Eugenia Kuzmina. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hello. I'm really excited to be here with you guys.
Good, you're so gorgeous. It's not even funny. Like we've had several models on, but we've never had a model who's also an actress and a comedian. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Let me introduce you to everybody, starting off with my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
Now, if I was straight, 50 years younger, I would be so in love right now. I would have to propose to you and promise you the world. But since I'm an old bag, 79 years old and gay, it's not going to happen. But I can still appreciate your beauty, and it certainly is classic. You look like Grace Kelly. You are a beautiful woman, very beautiful girl, actually.
Yeah, I think she was an amazing lady, and
Grace Kelly was stunningly beautiful.
Yeah, and very talented and very intelligent. So
let me introduce you to everybody. First, we've got our lady behind the board. She's at the W4CY studios in Florida. Say hi to Danielle.
Hi, Danielle.
Hello, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And then we've got the man behind the videos. He's in Philadelphia, Scotty J.
Hi, Scotty.
Hey, Eugenia. Now, I have a quick question. Now, we've established that you are a model, an actress, a comedian. Are you also a librarian?
Yes, you can see it. I can spend all the time right in this room, reading books and.
Oh, because of all the books. I got it now, Scott.
Then we've also got a chat room with a whole bunch of different countries represented. So just say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Should I use all the languages that I know?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, do that. We have Russian.
Привет, bonjour, arigato.
Yeah. Well, now tell us I know French. What were the other two?
Japanese and Russian. So
there you go.
And do buongiorno.
She did that one.
That's Italian.
Oh, that's Italian.
That's
okay.
Italian.
You gotta love
I'm
it.
Italian.
All right, everybody. So I'm going to do some bragging real quick before we start talking. Eugenia, you might recognize her from a lot of things. If you're into fashion, you'll probably like her because she's been on the. I know she's been on the cover of Glamour. I don't know what other magazines, but I know she was on the cover of Glamour because that's one of the things that helped skyrocket her to superstardom. She's modeled for Yves Saint Laurent, Alexander McQueen, one of my favorites when I was skinny. Thierry Mugler, I don't know if it's Mugler or Mugler, but either way, she's a superstar model, you guys. She's done all kinds of stuff, and she's also been in Bad Moms with Mila Kunis and Katherine Hahn and Kristen Bell and Christina Applegate and Jay Hernandez and Wanda Sykes. What a great movie that is. Dirty Grandpa with Robert De Niro, Zac Efron, Aubrey Plaza, Dermot Mulroney, and Julianne Hough. Rock the Casbah with Bill Murray and Bruce Willis, Scott Conn, Danny McBride, Zooey Deschanel, and Kate Hudson. You've seen her in True Blood, Blue Bloods, New Girl, White Collar Fury, Model Moms, which is like we're going to talk about because you're going to tell us what that actually is. And she's a stand-up comic, which I saw clips of her on YouTube, and she's very funny. So not only is she gorgeous, she's funny. But
you've got two jokes.
So tell us, Model Mom. What is Model Moms?
That's a blog that I started after becoming a mom, because I became a mom kind of in the middle of the modeling career and it wasn't cool at the time. Now I think like every model has a kid just because it's in fashion. But before, I was really struggling because I came back and people were questioning if I can work, if I can fly from Paris, because our job involves being in different cities and you always have to be available. You never know what's happening next day. So, a lot of clients were really concerned that I couldn't continue working. And I just had so much passion for creativity that, I wanted to reach out to other moms who were passionate about different things and create a community. So for me, supporting other women is one of the most important things. And man, whoever is a parent, I think it's always a challenge, and that's when the comedy comes in.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids.
Three. Wow.
One is my stepson, and he's 18, and my son is 11, and then my daughter is 7, and we have lots of animals too. So,
oh my gosh!
When did you come to the United States?
I came about 11 years ago. I moved to Paris when I was 15 and kind of worked by myself, there. I started working as a kid actually in entertainment business in Russia, and then I moved to America because that's like a center for, everybody who comes and does something for fashion. And then I moved to LA after having my kids and kind of fell into entertainment. So it wasn't something that I ever thought I can do or pursue or anything.
Because your English is very good. I can barely hear an accent.
Really? Oh my God. It's interesting. I never have a problem with my accent, actually, being part of the projects. And people would always say, like, you have to have a standard American accent. But I mean, I never had any problem with that.
Well, anytime you need a Brooklyn accent, call me.
So, but because one thing is though, is like I watched your reel. Obviously, I haven't seen everything that you've been in, but I did watch your reel that you put up, and you have a really extensive reel. You have a lot of stuff on it. You're always playing like the gorgeous, like sexy one, but also you play like the badass one. Like there's one where like, some lady's trying to rescue you, and it looks like the guy's holding a gun on you, and then like you kick him or something, and she holds him, and you pick up the gun and shoot her, and like so you're also kind of like the action like star, like the super hot action hero star, which we don't have a lot of that.
Yeah, I just watched John Wick, with
yes,
Keanu
Reeves.
That's amazing. The stunts and the coordination. I was just really impressed by the team, and I did a few projects with the same stunt team, and it's really impressive. So it's interesting, I think as an actor, you always have to find new challenges and new skills. So it's really interesting for me. I just passed motorcycle license and looking forward to practicing some other martial arts.
So do you actually train for all that stuff then, so you can do that stunt stuff?
Of course. It's very challenging. It's, if you look at all the action movies, there's a lot of things involved, and, it can be dangerous if you're not trained for them. So, of course.
Now, how many doors have opened for you in your business because of your beauty?
It's interesting because some doors are open, but some doors are closing. I heard actually so many no's just because people presume that I'm standard of like what it was. And I think now there's a lot of diversity. But at the time I started, people would say, no, models can't act, So I actually heard more no's than yeses. It would be surprising, but I think it doesn't matter if you're pretty or not pretty. There's always going to be a no. So I had to overcome my own challenges, and it's a perception that, that it is. But some doors, of course, like some people would, presume, but you have to have a skill also. So I was fired from some jobs when, I wasn't prepared to act.
Okay, now, do you think your beauty is a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't think of it of anything. All I can say, I can say thank you to my parents for doing something, but also, I think the way I look has nothing to do with anything else. I think now there's a huge diversity, and I always push for that. I'm always surrounded by women from different, countries, different races, different ages. Right now I'm on tour with other comedians who are all women, and I'm trying to support diversity. Just to educate people about differences and that it doesn't mean anything.
So how did you decide to do comedy though then? How did you actually go for I can see the modeling, obviously, and I can see you being in movies and all the great commercials and being a brand ambassador and everything, but then comedy is another like really like big jump, and comedy is not that easy. And I watched some of your clips on YouTube, and you're funny. You're very quick-witted.
Yeah, but she's exceptionally beautiful. No, seriously. Okay. I know we're talking about you like you're a third person, but we don't mean to. But you are exceptionally beautiful and very photogenic. I keep referring to Jane Russell, who was my very dear friend. You know who she was, Jane Russell, the movie star?
Yeah.
And Jane was about 87 at the time when we were hanging out. And I said, Jane, how does it feel now that you were one of the most beautiful women in the world, was voted and called the most beautiful? No matter where you went, people were falling at your feet because you were so beautiful. And now that you're an older woman, how does it feel that your beauty is different? You're still a beautiful woman, but not a young, beautiful woman. And her answer to me was, Ron, how do you think it feels? She didn't care for it much. because she felt that the attention she got because of her outstanding beauty and figure, her cross her heart, her bra, famous stuff that she was famous for, got her so many things in life that she would never have gotten if she wasn't so beautiful. And now at 87, or she died at 89, still stunningly beautiful for an 89-year-old woman. It bothered her. Aging bothered her over the decades. Do you think that'll happen?
I don't care. I'm a comedian, for me, that's what matters, the truth. And, I was a model. I never thought I would be a model. That was just something that I had to do to support my family. And I appreciated working with amazing designers, but it was always, something else for me. Like I actually want to grow as a person, and that's the least of my concerns.
Well, most Europeans don't have a problem. Sophia Loren, who is like 82, will not get a facelift. She feels like all Italian women, when you get older, it's life. It's part of life. And I don't think Sophia Loren regrets growing old and not being as beautiful as she was.
But she's still beautiful. She's just a different beautiful.
Yeah, that's it. But they look for the young beauty. I mean, when Sophia sees a film of hers when she was 26 years old, it's heartbreaking. I know so many actresses that are beautiful, and they talk about their old films. And you look at them now and they're not even pretty. Some of them are really quite ugly. As they got older, they lost their beauty. Mm-hmm. And it's a very sad thing. So beauty can be a curse or it could be a gift.
Yeah, I think my job is to push past that, So
that's what I feel.
I think so too.
I feel that you're going to grow into a beautiful woman because there's no way you're going to be an ugly old lady. You will be a sophisticatedly beautiful. You will look like Catherine Deneuve.
Oh yeah, I love Catherine.
Yeah. And she's no youngster. Catherine Deneuve is, you know who she is?
Catherine.
Yeah, we say it French because she likes that.
Okay, well, I'm American, so I say Catherine Deneuve.
She is my age, exactly. She's 79, and she looks wonderful for 79.
So wisdom about, actually French women, because I kind of grew up in France, so they have the attitude and sophistication, and there are other things, that I think you mature and learn and that are attractive.
So do you think you've learned a lot of things from living in Paris?
Absolutely, yes. I was a sponge. I was 15 when I moved there, so that's where I got my education. That's like the forming years for a person, for sure.
And fashion, you learned so much about fashion.
Yes, I was a very shy person, I'm probably still a little bit. So when I came to Paris, nobody would hire me for maybe like a year. I would go to auditions and I wouldn't talk. So, modeling involves a lot of like showing off and knowing who you are. So I was really lucky that Yves Saint Laurent kind of noticed me and I started working with him. And I really appreciate that relationship because I learned a lot about the designer and how it works and the creativity. So after that, I was lucky to work with amazing designers and learn a lot about fashion.
Name some of the designers you worked for.
Guy Roche, Dior, John Galliano, Steve McQueen, Alexander McQueen. Steve McQueen is another.
Yes.
Sorry.
Wow.
Alexander McQueen was amazing. Actually, somebody who really, a lot of times as a model, you do fittings at like 3 a.m. because fashion shows, it's kind of like rock concerts. You just go from one city to the other and you have like 10 shows a day and then you do fittings all night. So he always was super nice to models and treated us, like normal people, not like hangers. So
I love all the fashion stuff. For many years, I had my own clothing line called Jimmy Star. I only made one-of-a-kind clothes. I dressed Madonna and Elton John and all kinds of people, and I did costume design for films. And John Galliano and Alexander McQueen and Versace, those were like kind of like the people that, as a young designer, you like idolize because they're so out of the box and so different. So the fact that you worked with, except for Vivienne Westwood, you didn't mention her, who's my favorite.
I love Vivienne. Yeah, she's amazing.
She's my actually favorite. I met her when I was in England. I went to her store. She rides her bike every day, and I literally like stalked her just so I could meet her because I was like so excited about her. So I think the fact that you've taken that career and catapulted from that and into the next level. Do you still go back and do any modeling? Do you still model like if somebody were to contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I do calendars. Like right now, I'm working on a calendar with all different cars because I have a photographer who's like a celebrity photographer for cars. So I'm really passionate about that. That's a new world that I learn about. And, you know, I do work. If it's an amazing artist, I think it's always fun to collaborate no matter what you're doing. You know, I don't want to be like, oh, you're an actor, you're one thing or the other. I think it really depends on the project and the intention for that.
You
I
could have
love it.
been probably one of Valentino's best models. I
Yeah.
could see you in all of Valentino's gowns.
Yeah, I did work with him a little bit, you know, not as much as maybe I wanted to, but I think I was just too shy, you know. to be
No,
honest.
he designed for women that look like you, tall, thin,
How
elegant.
tall are you?
She's tall.
I'm 5'9", so I'm not as tall.
That's all. Oh my God, I thought you were 5'11", 5'10",
No,
5'9".
I wear a lot of heels, yeah. So
No, you sit tall.
You do sit tall.
You
You
sit
sit
very
tall.
tall. I
okay.
thought I was going to think 5'10", 5'11" for sure.
Position of the
But-
camera. That's what I learned
but-
from acting.
But
There you go.
I mean, you should have been around in the good days when Givenchy did designs, and the clothing that they made, those beautiful puffy things. I could see you in them.
Yeah,
Very chic, very elegant. You know who Givenchy is?
Of course I do.
Well, I don't know. Maybe a lot of people don't know who he is.
Of course I do.
And Balenciaga.
I can't wear any of that stuff anymore because now I'm fat. But when I was a clothing designer, I was skinny.
Those were the great designers. Chanel.
No,
You know-
you guys know a lot about fashion. I'm actually really impressed.
Oh no, I know. I used to buy all the collection books every year. Everybody would like shop in my store because I only made one of a kind. So like all the designers would actually go to my store, and I would see my stuff knocked off and mass produced all over the place.
Wow.
But back in my day, when I was a kid, Audrey Hepburn wore Balenciaga, Sophia Loren wore Valentino, and you knew the movie star that wore the gown or the outfit of the film, and who did the costuming in the film. And it was very important back then because women would emulate the stars. They wore their hair like Barbara Stanwyck or Joan Crawford, in the gowns. And women looked stunning. Women were beautiful in those days. They wore gloves and high heels and stockings. You were a kid. You weren't born yet. What do you think about women today that are fat slobs in sweatpants and sneakers with their asses? Their asses bouncing when they walk, or those big fat asses bouncing.